Hello everyone and welcome to the Revolution in Design. What I'm going to discuss today are the two separate realities we live in. There is the subliminal reality, which affects us unconsciously, and it affects us by driving our actions and our decisions without our realizing what's happening. So since most of our thinking is unconscious, this subliminal reality drives our actions, drives our lives, really. We're aware of just a very small percentage of why we do things. The rest of it is innate, it is programmed by our genetics, by our neurology. Now, the material universe, and I'm talking in the context of design because this is an architecture course. The material universe is what we can sketch and photograph. It is a build of material, of matter. We have walls, windows, surfaces, columns, steel planes, glass walls, anything you want. Okay, we see that and we think that is where we live in. In fact, we don't. There is a parallel reality, which is the subliminal reality, the subliminal universe. The physical material universe affects our body in an unconscious way, and we react to the subliminal reality. And we think erroneously that we are reacting to the material reality, but that's just a misunderstanding, and it's a understandable confusion because up until now we have not been able to visualize and map subliminal reality. Well, there's a revolution. It has taken place because there are scientific techniques. There is eye tracking that maps the subliminal universe, the subliminal reality. And what I have found extremely useful is eye tracking simulation software. This is VAS, Visual Attention Software, by 3M Company. And it enables you to scan an image, and then it gives you a nice color picture of the estimated eye scanning, which points in the picture the eye will fixate, and is nicely color coded. It is just a blank for where the eye doesn't want to go, and it gets to a blue for a medium interest, and you have hot spots that are yellow and red for where the eye fixates. So this gives us a mapping, and that is the alternative universe. And why is this important? And why hasn't this happened before? Well, we did not have these techniques available before. Eye tracking up until since the time it was invented in the 1950s, it relied on extremely cumbersome and heavy apparatus, and now all that has been miniaturized. But I think, in my opinion, the breakthrough has occurred because of the software that simulates it and is corrected within 92%, according to 3M Company. So 92% is a wonderful accuracy, and it permits us just to put in our images, and the scan processes them and gives us these images, beautiful color images of a heat map, and the heat map shows where the eye is predicted to rest, and also the frequency that the eye is predicted to rest. So we have the material universe that we face, and again, that optical feedback does not drive our actions. We take the material universe and we process it by a VAS scan, and that gives us a nice color heat map. This colored heat map is what makes our body take decisions, whether we go in this direction, whether we approach or avoid, whether we go right, whether we go left, whether we feel comfortable, whether we are going to feel healthy in the long term. These are powerful and basic questions for human survival and human life. But we have been just living in total ignorance of exactly how the environment affects us. And finally, we have a way to visualize the subliminal reality that drives our actions. So this is just opens up a whole new way of thinking for the future of humankind as far as design, because it is possible today, even though we don't have it right now, it is possible today to ask for software that will give you a split screen in real time, and then you design with your favorite design program, say on the left, and on the right, you ask a 3M company to have a real-time rendering of the VAS, the scan, and you see the heat map, so that you draw a window, say, or a door frame, and then you make a slight change, and you see immediately how that's going to change the VAS scan. So you have material reality on one side of the screen, and you have the reality that actually affects your actions, which is what design is about, which is what the success of design is in affecting human emotions, and then human health and human decisions that you take unconsciously. So there is no need to be guessing any longer, and we have a way of predicting how a design, when it is built, will affect the user. Something that has been a mystery up until now. Now I want to take some time to mention Christopher Alexander, who anticipated all of this. Unfortunately, this happened 35 years ago. Christopher Alexander outlined in his book, The Nature of Order, outlined the field of centers. The field of centers is a field, just like the visual field of material reality. It goes everywhere. But he outlined the field of centers, which is how the geometry is, and it has certain characteristics. And he predicted that certain characteristics of this geometry will be good and influence the human body in a positive way, and influence the human mind in a positive way. And furthermore, he gave rules for design, for creating this field of centers to make it more and more intense. And those are his 15 geometrical properties, which I have covered in a previous lecture in this series, and also in many articles in my books. So he gave the tools in order to design material reality so that we connect with subliminal reality, which he did not call it that, he called it the field of centers, so that we can connect with subliminal reality and get that intense healing effect on our person. And therefore, he's an architect, and he wanted the most positive healing effect of the built environment. So he gave the tools so that we can adjust our designs to create a wonderfully healing environment. So we have the field of centers, which after 35 years, surprise, surprise, turns out to be exactly the subliminal reality. And the second revolution is that subliminal reality is mapped by software, VAS software, and it gives us the wonderfully colored heat map. So three things are coming together now for the first time, and it's leading to a revolution. Okay, the revolution hasn't happened yet, but I'm willing to bet my retirement on this is going to revolutionize the way we look at the world and the way we design the world from now on. I would like to explain the concept of a center that was introduced by Alexander. A center is a region of space, a region of a structure that focuses its attention onto itself. It could be, say, a circle or a square. But he uses the word center to avoid the idea of an object that can be separated. So the center is a focus of attention, and while it could be an identifiable a design, like a circle, say, the center really focuses the attention from all around it. And then the field of centers is constructed by overlapping and reinforcing centers. So there are many different centers, of all different sizes that reinforce each other. And then we use all the design tools given in the 15 geometrical properties, which are essentially, I have described in this course, as a contrast and fractal scaling and symmetries, rotational, translational, scaling, and bilateral symmetries on all different scales, alignment, reinforcement. So you see that's adding mathematical structure and information and coherence. So that's what centers are about, and I recommend, I'm not going to teach what centers are in this brief video, but I recommend that people read The Nature of Order, where Alexander explains this. And of course, this is just the peak of the iceberg of mathematical techniques for achieving coherence. So the first important result in the recent coming together of the field of centers, eye tracking, is that the eye tracking image becomes a blue glow in the VAS software map. So when the field of centers becomes intensified, you get a uniform blue glow in the VAS scan. This is a new result, and it is totally surprising, because how does the field of centers come together? The field of centers comes together by all sorts of structure, details and ornament and symmetries all overlapping, so you get something that looks very busy, but it is in fact coherent. Or if it is coherent, then the VAS scan is a uniform blue glow. So it's an amazing result, which means that the preferred human environment has this blue glow, where the environment has equal interest, high degree of interest, but it's equally distributed. So veering away from the blue glow are situations that are not good for us, namely the total empty VAS scan, where there is no field of centers, the whole structure is dead, or the hotspots. Okay, we have our attention drawn. There is no uniformity. Our attention is drawn because something is happening at this point. Well, if the hotspots coincide with something that is functionally important, then very good. If it's the entrance, very nice. That is correct, and it's a good design. However, what happens very often in much of contemporary architecture is that the hotspots occur in totally irrelevant places, like the corner of the building. So that is contradicting. The material structure is contradicting the subliminal structure, and that shows when you compare, when you look at the VAS scan, if you see a hotspot in a useless place, then something is wrong. What we're doing now is we have undertaken a series of experiments and are preparing several publications, research publications, collaborating. We have a group of researchers. We are collaborating with 3M company with the VAS software, and doing many scans and experimenting to establish interpretation of how the VAS scans that map the subliminal reality, how they affect and will give us the best possible adaptive design for the health of the users. Because this is something new. The guidelines are yet to be developed. We are trying to develop those guidelines, and we are coming up with surprises, because when we began this research, some of us thought, well, the subliminal reality would look like this. Well, it turned out, no, it doesn't look like this. And we found unexpected results, like the monotonous repetition. Okay, I have read, without the benefit of the subliminal reality and the mapping using the software, I have written articles criticizing monotonous repetition. There have been environmental psychologists who have noted that monotonous repetition in the architectural and urban scales give rise to headaches for reasons that have to do with optical and processing of these images in the brain. I have written articles on them. Now with the VAS software, we just did one scan and we see what is the cause of these headaches. It is the splintering. The visual field is splintered because of the monotonous repetition. So it's a wonderful result that explains decades of questioning as to why these unpleasant things are happening that are bad for our health. So this is just one of many results that we have obtained new results. We're exploring new results. We're mapping a new territory that has immediate and profound repercussions on how we design and build the environment from now on. So there is a series of talks that we're giving, publications. We're going to publishing these results here and there. This is a wonderful and rapidly growing research program, and we have several people. Suffice it to say that when these results become known, then I think more and more people will become interested and learn these techniques and start to use them to make a better environment for everybody. So I think this will lead very quickly to a totally new approach to architecture and designing the built environment that's ultimately good for human health.